Hi, this is Chef Dianna Prince. I am the model chef, Dianna Prince. And today, in my little kitchen here, I'm going to show you again my recipe for teriyaki sauce and how to make it with some Rancher's Reserve beef for stew. It's some thick pieces of meat here, which I sprinkled some Mrs. Dash table blend all over them and just let it sit for a little while until I was ready to start. I'm going to bake them, so I put the oven at 450. I guess I'll probably turn it down to about 425 now. But I'm going to serve this with my teriyaki sauce on a bed of rice. So what I'm going to do right now is, since I have my water boiling here, remember, as much water that you use, that's how much rice you put in. So if it's 2 cups of water, it's 2 cups of rice. Again, I have measuring cups, and I will prove to you that my husband bought me some measuring cups. I never use them. I just do everything by hand. It was rare that I ever saw my mother, and look, I'm using this to stir that. It's very rare I saw my mom ever use, oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. Okay, so measuring cups. So we're gonna let this boil, and then I'm going to sprinkle a lot of garlic salt with parsley. I'm probably gonna use my last little bit that I have here. Since this is it, I might as well just, there we go, plop it in there. So I'll use this. So eventually, once you get it to a boil, of course you want to cover it so the rice can absorb the water. I might need some more water in here, but we will wait and see. The last thing you want is rice with too much water. So I'm actually going to set it halfway so it can begin to boil without boiling over. Now what I'm going to do, again, to make my teriyaki sauce, I learned how to make this from a friend of mine that's from Hawaii, and I kind of just added my own little things here and there to it. So this time I started with some butter, and I started with brown sugar. Now I probably put about 2 handfuls of my hands of brown sugar, and I'm going to take my leftover from yesterday's show, the juice and the pineapple tidbits, I believe is what they call them, and I'm going to use all of it. It's definitely going to give it that kick. I've made my teriyaki sauce without I'm gonna cover this now, without the pineapple, and believe me, you can taste the difference. So at this point, here, I can set this here, I'm gonna add my soy sauce. And again, depending on how thick you want your sauce, you're gonna add more brown sugar than you would soy sauce. And if anybody really wanted the recipe, I guess I could break it down in tablespoons and teaspoons, but I just kind of go off of, I don't know how much I'm going to be cooking with how much meat I have. And I'm going to use a lot of black pepper here, a lot, because I want it to have a kick with the black pepper, but I'm also going to cook it with some jalapenos. It's going to be very, very good. Okay, so I'm going to stir this, and I'm spilling it. And the butter is obviously not going to mix because it's cold. When it cooks, it will. So again, if you want the sauce to be thicker, you add more brown sugar, and if you want it to be thinner, then you would add more soy sauce or pineapple juice. So what we're going to do now is take the meat and put it in my nice, lovely new pan here. Guess who bought it for me? I'm all smiling. Yes, my husband, you win. And then we're going to just add this. Now this meat is pretty thick. They do have Rancher's Reserve beef for stir fry that probably would have cooked a little bit faster, and I could have sauteed it. But I wanted to show everybody how you can use different meats, and you can make it in many different ways with this, with my famous recipe here for teriyaki sauce. And I'm going to mix it around. This is gonna taste so good. I still have some pork chops left over from yesterday, and when they sit in this juice overnight, I mean, it really is good. It's like marinating a second time. And I did not marinate my meat. I just haven't really gotten into the hang of marinating most of my stuff yet. But I'm gonna wait because my cameraman's gonna come over here and we're gonna check on my rice. As you can see, it's still steaming along. I'm definitely gonna turn it down and let it continue to absorb the water. So now on my cutting board, as you can see, I have onion, one of my favorite vegetables, which is celery, and one of my favorite things to cook with is jalapenos. Now, if you want to, you can, and this is my favorite knife. I love this knife. I can cut meat, anything. If you want to, you can cut these in halves, or just randomly cut them. I like to leave them big, and I said it on my last cooking segment. Mushrooms absorb so much flavor. Whatever you're cooking with, it's going to take that flavor and it's going to soak it up. Same thing I find with the celery, even though it's a harder type of vegetable, but it's still, for me, I love it, and no matter what, if it's butter and garlic sauce or if it's my teriyaki sauce. So I'm just going to add these over there, and I want to try and get them all because I love mushrooms. And I'm going to take some white onion, simply, and I'm going to cut them big. And again, these bring out their own flavor, but they also absorb so much of the flavor of what you're cooking with. It's going to add flavor, and it's going to take some of the flavor of everything else. And I know kids, they're like, oh, onions, but when you have them in this sauce, believe me, they still want the sauce. And I've told my son over and over again, the sauce tastes like that because of everything that I cooked it with, that I baked it with. So now I'm just going to chop up my celery. Nothing special about this. You just chop it up any way that you want. I'm going to do some big pieces here. Try to do some big pieces. This knife I love because it can chop so finely. And it is definitely sharp, and I can cut all my meat with this knife. And I want the green. The green of the green. I could have celery for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Okay, and now the same thing with the jalapenos. Now, again, the things that I say about jalapenos all the time are the same couple of things. Number one, the seeds are the hottest part. Number two, if you cook with them, they're going to lose their bite. They're not going to be like they would if you were to eat them raw. And number three, I always remember to wash my hands thoroughly, and not just with water, but with soap and water before I touch my face, my eyes, my nose, before I touch anything, any surfaces. And as you can see, the seeds are just flying through here. So I'm going to keep some of them, and some of them I won't. Depends on what ends up on the cutting board after it's over that we have left. So, okay, I'm going to just add those in there. And again, this is a lot of food. I may want to add just a little bit. We definitely got to get it cooking. I predict that this is going to take 45 minutes to an hour for this meat, because it's a lot of meat. The meat is the thick pieces, but we're going to cover it, and we're going to put it in this oven that has already been preheated and waiting on us. And if you give me a second here, I'm going to get my aluminum foil and cover this baby up nice and tight so we can cook that meat. I definitely could have cooked it in a crock pot, but I would have rather have done it slow, and it would have taken longer. And I was waiting on my husband to help me film. Now when I take this out, I will definitely be using another pot holder. So I'm going to swish some of that juice around in there, get it kind of coating everything, and there we go. Definitely that the rice
You're
really...
running out of time and it's almost dead.
Okay. Running out of time. So I'll see you soon on the next segment in about 45 minutes with the finished product. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.